What's going on, YouTube Metal Complex here, and today is episode 3 of my new Sunday series, The Knife Guy. If you are new to this series or new to this channel, or you're like, how did I end up here? I have no idea where I am. I am a knife enthusiast, knife collector, knife user. I enjoy doing overviews, reviews. I enjoy doing unboxings, battles of popular models, discussions, top 5, top 10 stuff, and I generally upload regularly. If all that sounds good to you, you might enjoy my channel. Basically, what this series is me telling stories of how I became the knife guy in my own social circle. And all of you guys watching this video are likely knife guys in your own social circle. So you probably can relate to any of these topics that I talk about. If you'd like to check out episode 1 and 2, I did make a playlist. So first go and subscribe to my channel and then check out the playlist if you want to catch up. But you don't need to watch them in order. Anyways, today what I want to talk about is something that we have definitely all experienced. And maybe, at the risk of sounding really pretentious, I want to point out that there might be a few of the people I'm going to talk about might actually be some of my viewers. So just understand this comes from a place of potential love. It's a little bit obnoxious, but I also know that everybody has to start somewhere, and I was probably like this at some point and then evolved. And most of you guys were too. Not all of us start out with, a paramilitary too and just stick with that and learn everything all at once, So just understand that. I don't want to, throw salt in anybody's wounds or anything like that, but what I want to talk about today is the equivalent in the knife world of the guy at the gym who comes to the gym on the first day and he's got the wristbands and he's got the headbands and he's got the Under Armour, the legs and the top, and he's wearing it under a tank top that's got something about the gym on the, he's got all the gear, but he's not really sure what he's doing. He's read a few things online and he doesn't really know what's going on. I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and also I'm going to talk about what most of us in the knife community refer to as mall ninjas. Some of you guys are cringing, some of you guys are probably laughing already, but I'm gonna explore this delicately. Even more awkward than what I was talking about on last week's episode about breaking the news to or trying to explain to coworkers, friends, peers of any type, or your significant other that you are a knife guy, that you like knives. That's weird to people who don't understand that. And the people who don't understand it are the vast majority of the people that we interact with. And like I said last week, we kind of have to remind ourselves of that. More awkward, though, than that is running into another type or another breed of knife guy. And right away, it's one of two. We'll call him Brad. It's the Brads. Brad. It's the Brads of the knife world that, they read the article, they bought the thing, they bought the nicest knife in the Walmart glass case, and immediately assumed that because they spent $65 on a folding knife that they know everything there is to know about it. It must be made out of the most incredible steel out there, or they watched, some pretty hardcore marketing where dudes were chopping the legs of cows off that were hanging from the city, stuff like that. Heavy metal music in the background. It's very awkward meeting somebody like that, and it's also awkward meeting the mall ninjas or the ponytail sword collectors. That's also awkward. So as soon as basically my first experience with this was actually at the dealership, and oftentimes we run into people who come to dealerships, they have no intention of buying, they think that they can walk in, pretend like they're a buyer, test drive whatever they want, and maybe in the meantime they can buff their ego a little bit, convincing the car salesman that there's some sort of enthusiast, that his taste has been very refined and he knows about everything. At the end of the day, he just walks away. The truth is you can't really walk into a dealership and do that because most salesmen are trained to spot people like that. Most of the time what they'll do is they'll ask you to sit down and fill out a credit application so they can go ahead and get you pre-approved. That's their way of filtering out the guys that are not really there to buy. But along with that type of personality, when I see people like that, oftentimes I would meet people who just really needed attention. They really wanted people to think that they knew everything about a certain subject. You could make that argument that the fact that I made a YouTube channel puts me in that category, and I would have no, I would have no defense against that. But that type of person, from my perspective, blocking out any relationship with me, is annoying. You know, it's almost immediately you can tell, like, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna lay it on thick. He's gonna tell me all about how he's a martial arts expert and all this and it. So you run into these guys, and generally, you know, if you're both a part of the knife world, which is generally those types of guys a lot of times are like into pocket knives and things. If the knife thing gets brought up, if I, like, in that situation, maybe I'm carrying something like the Shaman, right? This is a USA made, $185, if not a little bit overpriced, very well made premium pocket knife. Excellent ergonomics, excellent materials. Most of the people buying this knife are going to know exactly what they're buying. They're going to know what G10 is. They're going to understand the reasoning for the cartridge liners. They're going to understand the reasoning for the blade shape. They're going to know Eric and Sal Glesser. They're going to know where these are made. They're going to know what S30V is. And they're probably going to know a little bit about the process. This is an advanced knife person if you're getting into this field. And I don't mean that in a pretentious way, like, this is, if you're at this level, it's advanced. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there's a definite difference between the nicest knife in the Walmart case and a Spyderco Shaman, right? I mean, there's also a division of the population there too. So maybe you by accident, or unfortunately, maybe you're the first person to show your knife. And in this case, I was. I can't remember what it was. Let's say it was the Shaman. This guy actually did have a ponytail, and I'm sorry to any of you guys out there watching who have ponytails. I just mentally, this is just what I picture now, because this was my experience with this guy, and not all people like this, but this was my experience with this guy. I showed him my knife first, and it was around a $150 knife, and he pulls out, and I remember this vividly. He was like, "Wait till you see this." Like, what he said to me was in a manner like, "Ha, that's cute. Wait till you see this." You know, it was like really, and I was like, oh my God. You know, like, so what he pulled out, and you guys are gonna laugh, it was a CRKT M21, right? It was that mega military tactical looking, a knife with the heavy serrations and that, you know, that big belly blade, and it's probably, what is it, like 9 inches overall. Had the tactical holes. It was all black. Had the red thing on the safety, and it had the hand guard. It was like 2 flipper. I'm not saying that M21 and M16 line are not good knives. What I'm saying is that this gentleman purchased this knife because he saw a really flashy ad in a magazine and assumed that because it looked like it was used exclusively by the most elite forces of the military, that it must be the most extreme version of a folding knife on the planet. Again, the M21 and M16 line, I think, have proven to actually be really good knives, and they definitely, I'm sure, are used by soldiers. But this guy was thinking it was something that it wasn't, and that he knew more, and that I wouldn't know what that was, or that I wouldn't have any clue, you know, the prestige or the caliber that this knife was in, and therefore owed him a new level of respect, I guess. I think that's what he was hoping for. So he proceeded to tell me basically nonsense about the blade and the coating and how it was. I can't remember what he said, but it wasn't right. He had no idea what the steel was. He just told me that it was like premium grade steel. And then he went on and on and on about the locking mechanism and the safety, and how it has to have a safety because it can deploy, you know, and it had the flipper thing, you know. He was like, if you can imagine, and he flipped it out like it was something I had never seen before. And my inner knife guy was exploding. My inner knife guy was going crazy, like, oh my gosh, I want to educate you so badly. I want to tell you, you know, I want to explain to you what kind of knife guy I am and what I know about. But here's the problem. I knew as soon as I did that, number one, he's probably going to be deaf to a lot of it, right? He might be thinking that I'm full of crap, not believe anything that I say. He's clear. I mean, that guy he probably had never seen a Hinderer XM18 or, you know, a lot of these Spyderco knives or Microtech knives that are in a different caliber. I'm not saying that, like, unless you graduate to this level, you'll never experience true or maxed out utility. I'm not saying that. There's a lot of different reasons to graduate into more expensive folding knives that are beyond just individual utility. What I'm saying is that in that moment, I wanted to explain to him, number one, I do know more about this than you think, and I know more than you, and you're trying to explain things, or you're patronizing me essentially, and without knowing whether or not I know any of this stuff, and you don't even know what you're talking about. I wanted to do that, but as soon as you do that, you're the same person, right? What good can come of that? So unfortunately, what I ended up doing was just sitting there and listening, and oh wow, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I can see that red dot there. Yeah, it's generally red is the color of severity. I didn't know what to say. I was just like, oh my gosh, like there's nothing I can say to this guy, and it's an awkward situation. And if you haven't run into that situation yet, and you're this type of knife guy, you'll run into that. And there have been scenarios where my ego has gotten the best of me, and I'd like to say it was before this situation. I actually took the high road the first time I experienced this situation in an extreme, and then later, having not learned from my obviously better choice after that, I'll admit there actually were situations where I was like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. And then I just let my ego just take the wheel and just proceeded to just rub somebody's face in the dirt about how little they knew. And that's meaningless. That I gained nothing from that. And that person probably was less interested in knives all the way around after having talked to such a pretentious jerk. And so it's hard, meeting people like that and wanting to talk about folding knives and wanting and having to keep your own ego subdued, because at some point, even if it is subconscious, one or both of you are thinking, which one of us knows more? Which one of us can impress the other person more? And it doesn't matter. It's a stupid thing, to worry about. There are plenty of people out there who know way more about folding knives than me. Way more. From functional levels to just like the engineering levels, and as far as materials go, also just in terms of like their spending parameters, like what prestige of folding knives they will buy. I mean, you would pick a direction. There are tons of people out there who if you want to call that better, are better or more knowledgeable than I am, But I don't know that, unless you're just sitting down and having a balanced and respectful discussion that is actually aiding somebody in learning, in a way that can benefit them, and the person giving the information is not being patronizing and actually attempting to help fill in the gaps where it is requested. That's the key word. If the person is wanting to learn and asking somebody whose opinion they trust, not being forcibly fed the information just to boost the other person's ego. If they're asking for the information, then yeah, that's great. That's what this should be. I love that. I love asking questions and finding things out. Nobody likes to be patronized. Nobody likes to be force-fed information that they don't feel like they need or that can't benefit them. We all have different wants and needs with folding knives, and some information simply isn't beneficial. This, Microtech SOCOM Elite is on bearings, has a 4-inch M390 blade, costs $280, but it's the best. But some people just don't need that. Some people don't need that information, and it means nothing to them. It doesn't do me any good to explain how much more I know and how much more informed I am to somebody who just doesn't need that information. So yes, it was hard having to listen to the patronizing information that was coming from this ponytail Brad, who was telling me all about how amazing and how elite his M21 is. But most of the time, the best road to take is the shut your mouth and just nod and just wait till he goes away. That road. That's the better one. Another difficult person to deal with is the guy who collects swords, or the smoke shop dragon daggers. Oh my gosh. If you haven't checked out Nick Shabazz's series, his Terrible Knives Live, see a lot of stuff like that. Throwing stars that have the blades in like every direction, or knives that like fold out where there's like two blades on each side. It's hilarious to watch Nick Shabazz open those and talk about those on his channel. But there are people who are like super into that, and it's really difficult meeting somebody like that and explaining, what you would have to do. I mean, understand, if you arrive at that situation with one of those guys and you pull your knife out first, and then they're like, check this out, and it's like a wizard holding a crystal, and like under the crystal there's like a red just fire dagger. I mean, who's that for? I mean, when I was 8 years old, I would have thought that was the coolest thing in the world. But as an adult, that is the cringiest thing I've ever seen. As an adult knife enthusiast, that's the cringiest thing I've ever seen. But to that guy, it's really cool. He really thinks that's cool, and all he knows is that you're into pocket knives. You showed him your knife, and to him, it looks boring or ugly. It's a thing with a blade, right? His wizard crystal dagger is way cooler, and maybe he's not being pretentious. Maybe he's really just trying to show it to you like, check this out, man. It's like a snow globe inside the crystal or whatever. It's like, okay, do you invest time? You take your ego and invest your time and his time into breaking down what he likes for your own benefit, to cook the fire under your ego. As much as we want to tell those guys like, dude, you are so cringy. We have a term for you on the forums. We call you mall ninjas because we're better than you. It's like, yeah, we want to do that. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to tell those guys, like, why are you carrying Wolverine's claw in your pocket? Like, well, who is that? What are you afraid you're going to be attacked by? There's no utility in that. The ergonomics are terrible. The blade steel's made out of folded up extra gum tins, and then we've welded them, cooked them, and welded them together. The line, there's blade play, there's all this. So it's like you really want to invest all that time into making yourself look like a jackass, and just going on and on and on about how much more elite you are. No, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. It's better. I mean, if he's being pretentious, that's one thing. But even if he is, it's still not worth the time, because the likeliness of him going, you know what, you're right. My thing's terrible. You clearly know a lot more than me. What can I do to learn everything and basically serve in your shadow or whatever? It's not going to happen. It's a futile, it's honestly, it's like watching a dumpster fire YouTube comment section argument become an even larger dumpster fire. Nothing good can become of it. And, us, as we've all become knife guys in our little worlds, it is going to happen. And a lot of you have probably already experienced that. And I'll tell you what, if you want to talk about your experience in the comment section, I honestly would love to hear it. I don't care if you guys want to talk about these people behind their backs, but I mean, as far as like the actual interaction with these people, sometimes a little bit of education might be warranted for these people, but most of the time it will have little to no effect and no positive outcome for either party. So, I don't know. If you want to tell me your stories, please do. I always find those entertaining, and I know a lot of you guys have had, the same or probably more interesting interactions, and it would be fun to hear about them. But I kind of thought this would be a relatable topic. I kind of thought it would be a fun topic. I hope I didn't offend anybody. I didn't mean to. It's something that I wanted to be honest. I didn't want to sit here and pretend like I chose the high road, so I'm better than everyone. No, I definitely had the urge and actually acted on the urge to educate people for no reason other than boosting my own ego. But I think it's something that we should talk about. And honestly, if there's an opportunity to actually turn one of these people over to what we consider to be the more premium and refined side of the knife world, and if there is an opportunity for honest education that is beneficial to that person, then yes, in that situation, I think it's necessary, or it's a good idea. Not necessary, but a good idea, especially if that person is asking or seems interested in the information. So anyways, boy, that was super preachy. Despite my attempts to sound human, I did kind of sound preachy and robotic. I hope you guys at least found this entertaining. If you did, of course, as always, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like. So check that stuff out. And if you enjoy all my content, then please subscribe to my channel, because there is definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.